Hello and welcome to another day in the Event Profit Challenge. I hope that you are enjoying these tips and recommendations. Today, I want to chat about one of the biggest challenges and pain points that nearly all event leaders face, which is filling and selling out their event, right? Everyone has that worry of, yes, I want to put an event, but will I be able to fill it? So what I want to do in this video is give you some recommendations and strategies for how to structure and market your event that will help you sell it more easily, further in advance with less stress. Hello and welcome back. My name is Tanya Lopez. I'm a global event strategist, previous head of events for Mindvalley, and I work with impact-driven entrepreneurs, businesses, and brands in creating, delivering, and scaling world-class transformational events that change lives and are wildly profitable as well. So stick with me because we're going to dive into how to sell and fill your retreats and events with less stress. Welcome back to the Event Profit Challenge. Are you guys here? Are you watching? Are you enjoying this? Are you getting ideas and strategies? Let me know. Comment, send me a DM. Let me know that you're here. That gives me energy and inspires me to keep showing up and serving you guys. So today I want to dive in to what is one of the biggest challenges and pain points for event and retreat leaders. You might know what it is. It's selling and filling your event. I know that this can be very stressful, and I am here to give you some recommendations, some tips to help you with that process so that you can sell and fill your event more easily, further in advance, and with less stress. All right, that's what today's video is designed to do. So let's dive in. So one thing I want to mention is give yourself plenty of lead time, right? If you are launching an event and it is coming up in a few months' time, that's going to be stressful. I like to, as a very general rule of thumb, I like to recommend at least 6 months lead time. If it's a smaller event, it could possibly be a little bit less, but general rule of thumb, 6 months lead time, because ideally you want to sell out your event at least 1 month in advance so that then you can really focus on the content, on the experience, right? You don't want to be hustling trying to sell tickets until the last minute right before your retreat, right? So give yourself plenty of lead time. General rule of thumb is about 6 months. Okay, my next tip is to, when you are sitting down to plan your event and really plan your event, have a solid strategy around this. I spoke to this a little bit in a previous video, but a lot of times people kind of throw an event together very casually, very spontaneously, without much strategy. And I don't recommend that. I recommend that you treat your events as you would another part of your business and you really have a plan and a strategy around it. So when you are planning your event and you're thinking about how big you want it to be, I recommend that you start with where you're at, meaning start with the size of your audience. And your audience, not just meaning how many people are within your community combined of Facebook and Instagram, because you could have a very big community, but if these people aren't warm or hot leads, meaning that they're people that are used to buying from you, then it could be a bit tricky, right? So you want to look at not only the size of your community, but is your community used to you offering things, to running events? Are they primed to buy from you? If so, great, then you can go with a bigger number. But the mistake that I see people make is they very often aim too big too soon, and they aim for numbers that aren't reflective of the community that they have, and this puts them in a really tricky situation and position where they're a bit stressed being able to sell and fill those retreats. So I am a big proponent. You've probably heard me talk. I spoke about this in another video. Maybe you've heard me speak about it somewhere else. I'm a big fan of starting small, aiming big. So you can have your big vision that you're aiming for, at some point, but that's not where you start. You start where you're at. And so if you're running a first-time event or a first-time retreat, small, intimate, well-curated events can be beautiful. They can deliver big impact. You get to connect with each person personally, and they can also be highly profitable as well. So I mentioned this before. I've had small online events. I had one event where I made around $15,000 with only 17 people there. I have a client who had her first event. She had been in the coaching space for years, but she had her first live event. She had about 50 people there, and she sold $500,000 in one weekend to about 50 people. So, and it's not just about money, it's about impact as well. But with small intimate events, it puts you in a position where you feel more confident that you can sell and fill it. And also it's a much better position to be in of like, oh wow, I had 15 spots and they're all gone. Let me see if I can increase space, right? If I could go back to my people and say, wow, we sold out. This is the response has been so incredible. We're going to open up 5 more spaces. That's so much better of a position to be in than opening up too many, not filling them, stressing, trying to backpedal, giving discounts, but you've already had people pay full price, right? That puts you in a way more difficult situation. So my recommendation is always start where you're at with the size of the audience that you have. If you're new to events, you could have a 20-person workshop, a 30-person, 50-person, right? You're going to know what is the number that you feel confident in aiming for. If you're having a retreat, it could be 8 to 10 people for your first retreat. You knock it out of the park, you deliver an incredible experience, you get amazing testimonials, you invest in having great photos, great video, and you have these as assets for your next event. And at your next event, you go a little bigger, right? So when I was the head of this is how we scaled A-Fest. When I was at A-Fest, the first event was about 120 people. And that's already big, but the Mindvalley community was already big at that point. But by the time I left, we were up to 800 people. We had expanded to a second destination. Ticket prices had gone up, but we didn't come straight out the gate selling 800 tickets at, $3,000 per piece. We started a lot smaller and we did exactly what I just said. We delivered an incredible experience. We invested in photos, videos, testimonials, and we grew each event from there. Each event, ticket prices went up a little bit, number of attendees went up a little bit, right? So this is a very stable way of growing that reduces your risk, that reduces your financial exposure. And this is what I recommend for people that are in the earlier stages of events, because you really do want to minimize your financial risk and exposure. Okay, so that's my first recommendation. My second recommendation is one that I see people miss so often in events, and it really is a game changer. And it's about getting really clear on who your event is for. Your event is not for everybody. And unfortunately, a lot of the marketing that I see, it's very vague and general information that could be for anybody. And the thing is that when you try to speak to everybody, you end up speaking to nobody because nobody gets that it's for them, right? So you want to identify in very, very clear terms who is your ideal attendee. And not just ideal attendee in the terms of like how we were taught demographics old school back in the day, which is gender and income level and geographic location. We're not looking for, my ideal client is a woman 30 to 40 who lives in the US. No, that's not what we're looking for. We want to go much deeper. We want to go to what is this person's challenges? What are their goals? What are their desires? What are their challenges looking like in their day-to-day life? What is the transformation that you offer to somebody when they come to your event or retreat, right? So number one is getting very clear on who your event is for. So a few examples to help illustrate this is saying that something is a couples retreat versus saying this is a couples retreat for committed couples who have been together for 10 years plus that are looking to deepen their intimacy, right? Like that's a lot more specific. Or this is an event to help you step into your next level. This is kind of language I see often, as opposed to this is a mastermind for coaches and healers in the personal growth space who are looking to scale to 1 million in revenue. Do you see the difference there? The first one is like, I don't know who that's for. And the second is like, wow, that sounds like it's for me. This retreat is for women that have recently gone through a divorce and are looking to open their hearts to love again, right? We want to be specific. We don't want to just say this is a retreat for women, or this is a wellness retreat, or even worse, like this, come to our retreat, without really specifying who it is for. So this will help you call in the right people. Another tip around this is tying your retreat to a bigger movement, a bigger mission. So to give you an example of this, this is the kind of thing that will help you and your event stand apart, right? Because there's a lot of events, there's a lot of retreats, there's a lot of competition and a lot of noise. And very often people are wondering like, well, why would people come to mine? What is unique or different about mine? And this is a question that you really want to be able to answer, because it is absolutely going to impact and affect your marketing and your turnout. So you want to be clear, why is your event different? And what makes it different is you and your mission and your vision and who it's for and what they're going to get out of it. Because when you could speak to that in a very, very clear way, nobody can compete with that, because nobody has the same magic and vision and mission that you have, right? So you really want to differentiate yourself and stand out and put your flag in the ground in terms of, this is who I am, this is who this retreat is for, this is what makes us different, this is what we're all about, right? Because then your people can find you. So it might be this is for women who want to thrive in their midlife. This is for entrepreneurs scaling to 1 million that want to do it in a sustainable way. This is for people who want to live off the grid and farm their own food. It can be anything, but it has to be specific, right? So get very, very clear on who your event is for. Your event is not for everyone. When you try to speak to everyone, you will speak to nobody, right? So that's the second tip. Now, the third tip builds on the second one, which is, once you're really clear on who your event is for, you want to also speak to, what is this person going to get at your retreat? Very often, the mistake that I see people make is they speak about features and logistics. For example, come join our 5-day retreat in Italy, where we have a beautiful villa and you'll have home cooked meals for you. This is all features, it's logistics, it's information. It doesn't speak at all to results, benefits, and outcomes. And that's what gets people to buy. People want to know, how is this going to help me? And you want to be able to answer that question. How is this going to help people? One of the things I like to do with clients and in my community is to think about the A to B transformation that you want to take people through, right? Where are people at when they arrive, and where are they when they leave? What is the experience that you are going to create, and the outcome that they are going to get, and the changes, results, benefits that they are going to have from your event? Again, you want to be able to answer this. When you stay very vague and you're kind of vague about who it's for, there's no specific results, tangible benefits and outcomes. This is where your marketing doesn't really land for people, and they're not strongly pulled to take action, to reach out to you, because it's not really speaking to their heart and soul or their desires and their challenges, right? So instead of saying this is a 5-day retreat in Italy, it's like, this is a retreat of complete rejuvenation, where you are going to rest, recharge, you're going to reconnect with this sense of aliveness, of connection. You're going to step away from the day-to-day busyness of running your business and taking care of others, and actually be held and nourished and supported. And this is all going to happen in a beautiful community of sisterhood and women supporting you, right? So here we're talking about how they're going to feel, what the benefits are, what are they going to experience, as opposed to just kind of the features of, we're going to go on this excursion and that. So an example would be, we're going to go on this excursion. That would be speaking to the feature. And that same thing of going on an excursion, speaking to the benefits, could be, we are going to get you having an adventure, reconnecting to that sense of aliveness, to feeling that the world is this beautiful thing for you to explore, reconnecting with the magic of travel, of adventure, of play, right? Like, one is speaking to what is happening, and the other one is speaking to how people will feel and what they're going to get out of it. So this shift in your marketing and in your messaging is really, really going to make the difference. It's going to make your event pop, and it's going to make the people that your event or retreat is meant for come forward and seek you out and want more. Okay? So those are the first tips. And then my next tip and the last tip is something that I also see people struggle with quite a bit, especially when it seems like only the people in the earlier stages of business struggle with this, and it's being comfortable with selling. If you look at people that are very advanced in their businesses, they are not stressed about selling. They are not worried about being too salesy. They are selling every day unapologetically because they know that that's what it takes to run a business. It's people that are in the earlier stages that usually have this fear around being too salesy, and they might put out a post here and there and they don't get the response that they would like, and then they wonder why it's not working, when the reality is that people need to see things multiple times and they need to hear it in different ways as well. So you want to sell way more than what you're comfortable with. It is going to push you out of your comfort zone for sure, but this is what's needed. You have a retreat or an experience that you are looking to fill, and what that requires is you selling until it is sold and until it is filled. And again, this is probably going to push you out of your comfort zone, but this is such a valuable skill for you to have. And so you get to explore sales in different ways and see what works for you and your unique personality and business and event and audience, right? So whether that's social media or ads or working with affiliates or doing direct invitations, there's a lot of different ways, and your job is to try these different ways and see what works best for you, and to get out of your comfort zone and to sell more often than what you're comfortable with, because that's what it requires. I'm just going to be real with you. That's what it requires. What else was I going to say about this? Yeah. So you want to show up, you want to sell consistently, you got to sell the thing until it's sold, and you want to speak about it from different angles. Yes, that was it. So different angles, meaning one angle might be the outcome, the benefits, the transformation that the person is going to get. The other one might be, what is that bigger mission and movement that it connects to? What is the thing that inspired you to create this? Another angle might be speaking to shifts that previous attendees have experienced, right? What changed for them after the event or retreat? Showcasing testimonials, right? So these, I just rattled off 3 or 4 different angles from which you can speak about it, right? Storytelling. If your event is about reconnecting women with optimizing their health and taking better care of themselves, then you might tell a story of how you fell out of optimal health at some point, and what you were experiencing and what you did to get you back on track, and that is why now you guide women through this, because it's something that you experienced and you know how difficult and challenging that could be, right? So you're telling the story from your own personal angle, as opposed to just kind of coming out and being like, come to my retreat and this is why. You can do that, but you also want to hit it from all of these different angles as well, because different people buy for different reasons, right? And so when you cover it from all these different angles, you have the opportunity to appeal to people in different ways. All right, so those are my recommendations to help structure and market your retreat or event in a way that will help you sell more easily with less stress. I hope this is helpful. As an action step, what I want to invite you to do is take a look at your sales page or your marketing materials. Maybe it's a PDF or maybe it's social media post, and look to see if you are writing in this way. Are you speaking to features or are you speaking to outcomes, benefits, and results? And if it's a sales page, rewrite it a little bit, make some tweaks, make these edits, add some sections in that speak to the results and benefits, or create new content, right? Your content moving forward, incorporate these tips and see if that shifts the amount of inquiries that you're getting and sales that you make. And I bet that it does. All right, so that concludes day 4 of the Event Profit Challenge. Again, if you're here, if you're enjoying, say hello, drop any comments, questions, insights. I absolutely love to hear from you. And as a reminder, I am hosting the Event Profit Maximizer. This is for you if you are running events or retreats and you are not selling at them. You don't have a back-end offer. You don't have an online offer or program that helps you to create income and impact for you in between your live events. If you don't have it, it's absolutely critical, and I highly, highly recommend that you set that up. And this masterclass will help you do that. So I will drop a link in the comments below. I know some of you are already registered, and I'm so excited to share space with you live soon. All right, so I will end this video here, and I will see you tomorrow for the final day of the Event Profit Challenge. Have a beautiful day. See you soon. If you are ready to take your events to the next level and you want a strategic partner with a high level of expertise, specialized knowledge in the event industry, scaling a single event to $1 million in revenue that many people call the best experience of my life, this is the work that I do. I work with impact-driven businesses and brands to create, deliver, and scale transformational events that are also wildly profitable. If you're interested in working together one-to-one, click the links below to explore more and set up a call.